Welcome everybody to the Cheryl Technology Channel. I am your host, Chris, back with another video again. In this video, we are going to be examining something that I read. It's going to be a little bit different. I read something the other day on a processor called a Pluton. Yeah, I know it's a stupid name, but it sounds cool. So I decided to take a look into this, and we're going to find out what this is all about. Okay, thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the little bell notification. That way, every time I release a video, you get a notification saying just that I released one, so you can keep up on today's stuff. Okay, let's get into this. The introduction to this video is this. In this world of ever-expanding technology, you know, we have, at this point, there's always a need for cameras or devices that protect their homes, like, for instance, flood sensors, everything like that, right? What most of you may not know is that most of those technologies are not secure. They are running on what's called port 80. So there's port 80, port 8080. Those are non-secure ports. It does standard HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. So if that's why you'll see some of them will have, okay, so if you look, for instance, right here, you see that little lock? If we look at it, connection is secure. But most of the transactions of IoT devices are not secure. They are run on port 80. So I can do a whole nother video on that if y'all want me to, but put that down in the comment section if you want it. So how safe is your data? So now think about this. Your cameras, think very carefully, y'all. Imagine this for a second. Your cameras are transferring data to the cloud non-securely. This is photos and video of your home. Let that sink in for a minute. But you're like, Chris, how is that possible? That's because it's always been that way. So nobody's ever looked into changing that, right? So can we trust corporations with our data? No. That's the answer to that question. Or rather, do we need to implement some other kind of security measure to ensure that data is moved from here to here securely? What is the answer? Well, therein lies the Pluton chip, right? Made by Microsoft. I know. I'm not a big fan of Microsoft, but I do got to give them props for at least trying to fix the thing that they broke years ago, because it's never been a very good operating system to begin with. But at the same time, they are trying to make advances in this field. And they've actually, to let y'all know, have been trying to do this since 2013. Yeah, you heard me right. 2013, with the invention of the Xbox. The Xbox One was invented in 2013, and they were working with AMD, right? AMD is who they partnered with to invent the first version of this chip. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, yeah. Come on. Y'all feeling it? Y'all feeling it now? Okay, y'all. Go ahead. Cue that intro now. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Pluton video. So the first step I want to take is I've explained to you kind of where the need came from. Now let's examine what Microsoft is doing about it. Okay. So January 4th, Microsoft had a blog. This is his blog right here that you were seeing, David Weston. This one's done on November 17th. So basically what they're looking at is they need some way to move data securely from one location to another via low-powered devices, right? These devices that are moving your data are low-powered. That's kind of the point. So in my house, I have Vivint, and I have a flood sensor. I have 4 smoke detectors, a carbon monoxide sensor. I have 2 cameras. All the doors have sensors on them to let me know, like, say, when the door is open, a contact. And it's just a contact, closed or open. That's it. Okay. And then it tells me The back door is open. The door to the garage, the inner garage door is open. The garage door is open. It tells me all that crap. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. But since this data is not moving securely, how do you fix this problem, right? Okay, that's what we're going to look at today, the Pluton chip. So Microsoft mentions this concept of chip to cloud. So in other words, it took a while to find the definition of it because it wasn't really very clear to me what it actually meant. But in some time, I found the answer, and the answer is that normally devices don't connect securely, like I said before, with ever-expanding endpoint devices. So in other words, cameras, and you're adding this and this and this and this, and I've got 2 cameras now. Later, I'm wanting to add 2 more, but I'll probably go with Ubiquiti more than likely because I like Ubiquiti better. And I've dealt with their stuff for years, and I'm certified to install their stuff on an enterprise level. So, I mean, for me, it would be better to use Ubiquiti because I like them and I have full control. And it's the attacks against these devices. So for instance, I started looking, and I decided to look and see in 1 year, I read an article, in 1 year, the amount of cyber attacks went up like 20 million. From 2019 to 2020, it was about 20 million more than it was the year before. That is crazy. So look at this. IoT devices suffer an average of 5,200 cyber attacks every month. Think about that. That is a lot. Why? Well, it's because it's not moving the data securely. It's sort of like on a telephone line, a standard telephone line. You can tap into the line with a handset, a special handset, and you can hear every word that's being said. It's similar to that because there's no mechanism in place to block people from getting in. That's where this comes in. So that's kind of what this is about. This article is about IoT devices and their lack of security protocols, and right here. Number 1, absence of updates and unencrypted updates. See? So they're just sending the updates to you just willy-nilly. No encryption or nothing. I mean, what do you expect to happen? Okay? So the second point I want to make is this. With them being non-secure, right, the IoT devices, there's a huge need for end-to-end security. So, in other words, you encrypt it here, and you encrypt the transfer. That way, people can't see what you're moving. So right now, so to be fair, I don't think that the last time I checked on Vivint's website, they did not, and I logged in my account, I could not see my cameras. I can only see them on my phone. That's it. On my phone. That's it. That's the only place I can see them is on my phone. I can't. The app is not in the cloud. Fix this crap, Vivint, for the love of everything that's good, man. Fix it. So, now, according to Microsoft, the Pluton chip fixes, here, we'll look at this. The Pluton chip fixes all this stuff. Now, how many of y'all ever seen Microsoft promise something and not follow through? Or like, oh, it looks pretty now, but then what they don't tell you is when you're playing the game, this happened to me, you're playing the game, and in playing the game, you end up looking down and your CPU usage is 10 times what it normally is. And your frame rate is junk. Yeah, it happened to me on Windows 11. The problem is that people are so concerned with making it look pretty that they don't take the time to make it work the way it should. I don't care about pretty. I care about it working. That's what I care about. So, okay, now we're going to get into something a little bit different now. And I need to show this to y'all right here. Okay, so this is what's going to bring all this on. So right now, Windows 11 requires TPM 2, version 2, for you to be able to run. Now, I think they've laxed up on this a little bit, but I think it's like 7th generation Intel processors. Before that didn't have TPM 2.0, right? that means you can't run Windows 11. I don't want to run it, no way, but that's just me. As of right now, TPM is the way this trusted platform module is how they actually do it. This is how they get away with it right now, with securing things or making it better, at least for Windows anyway. Okay, so since the TPM has to communicate, it's just a little chip. And what happens is this chip communicates across a bus. Do y'all know what a bus is? Okay, think about your power in your house. You have your breaker box, right? You have the 2 rows of breakers. Well, those all have to connect to one singular line to pull power. That's what a bus is. When they say bus, that's what it means. So they're communicating across this bus from the TPM to the CPU. And that's how it communicates and transfers data back and forth. Now, the problem with that is it's a physical connection, right? So there's a possibility of somebody getting in physically and monkeying with that. Not that that's probably going to happen, but it could. Okay? With the Pluton chip, the TPM module is built directly in to the processor. Right here. See right here? Here it says it's hardware-based security-related functions. That's what it is. It's a secure crypto processor designed to carry out cryptographic operations. In other words, it uses cryptography, security. It's just it's making things, it's encrypting things. That's what it's doing. See, and it helps to it generates, stores, and limits the use of cryptographic keys so that people can't get to them, right? Okay, so, and verify and system integrity too, because that's what you need to do these days. I mean, with that said, hackers are finding ways to get around the TPM now. So they're finding ways to get around it. Hackers, quit it. But what they're trying to show people is that everything that people come out with, these large corporations, can at some point eventually be hacked. Everything can be hacked. I don't care. Nothing is foolproof. Nothing. It's designed by humans. It will have a flaw of some kind, right? That's just the way it is. Now, the TPM, they're trying to reinvent security. So, in other words, they're trying to find ways to make things more secure while at the same time reducing the pushback from the consumer. Because imagine this. If they tell you you can't use your computer for Windows 11, where you're like, okay, so what do you mean by that? So why is that? Why are you saying this to me? Right? Why are you saying this to me? Like, I just spent $800 on a computer and you're telling me I can't use it now? There comes Linux. Linux is the best. So that's what I would use. Linux is, and I think if you use Linux, Linux doesn't get around all of this stuff, but the OS itself, the kernel, is more secure. Just right off the bat. The reason that Microsoft is having to do this, in my opinion, is because of the lack of security in their OS. When you have that security in your OS, you don't have to worry about this stuff. Now, what does the Pluton chip do exactly? What does it do? Let's look at that and see. So I've got in my notes here what it is. Okay? It removes the physical bus link between the TPM module and the CPU, therefore creating a direct connection to the CPU as it being embedded in the CPU. It's more of an emulation, but it's kind of the same thing. But it has to be a Windows PC. That's the other issue, is that it's Windows OS. So, I mean, see, it's saying Windows PCs is security at the very core. Yeah, they haven't achieved that yet. Because every time they release an update, it breaks some kind of security stuff. So, I don't believe them right now. But, let's look at it a little more. So, see, it's saying that Windows PCs that already use this TPM will be able to emulate the it'll emulate the TPM that will work with the hardware that's already there, making it it'll be an immediate benefit for security and the people won't have to buy something extra. So that's kind of cool. Okay, now, furthermore, the Pluton chip, in this sense of what we're talking about, the Pluton chip provides SHAC. I know. I'm going to explain. Secure hardware cryptography key ensures that the keys are never seen outside of the hardware. So, for instance, when you're communicating with a server, there's a key that's involved, a public and a private key, right? And a lot of Windows Server stuff uses this, where you have a key that's public and one that's private, and it just communicates with those keys. It unlocks kind of features and stuff and unlocks communication. Now, with all of these things said, what do you think we should do about it? Like, right? I mean, you have all these keys and all this gobbledygook about all this crap. What does it mean? Basically, it means this. This is my conclusion to all of this. With the advent of IoT, right, there are so many devices that need to communicate. None of them, as far as I know right now at this moment, communicate securely. Not that I know of. There may be one, Ubiquiti may. I can't remember exactly. I think they use 8443, which is the secondary HTTPS port. So it's possible that, yes, they do use security there, but basically there's the basic premise of all of this. There needs to be more security in place to keep people from getting in. Basically, that's what they're saying right here. Now, the Pluton chip solves these supposedly by taking care of the chip to cloud. The chip to cloud is where there's a direct communication with the chip to cloud, but it's a secure communication. If what they're saying is true, and they can build in end-to-end security, let's just click on that. End-to-end security, right? End-to-end security. That means that all of these communications that happen right here, all of this stuff will be secure. Now, y'all, I mean, honestly, I think that Microsoft is moving in the right direction. Do I believe that they will improve over time? Yes, I do. Do I think they'll ever be as good as Linux? No, I don't. That's my disclaimer. That's my personal opinion. I do not believe that they will ever be as good as Linux. Linux is built off of Unix. Unix is probably one of the most secure ever made, other than probably BSD. BSD is really secure too. But I think they're making strides in the right direction. I believe they're trying very hard to make strides to be better at security. So with all that said, y'all, this is your host, Chris. I am done. That's all I got for you. I know this was a weird one because I normally don't do it on stuff like this, but I figured I'd take a dive into this one. If y'all liked it, give it a thumbs up, right? Give it a thumbs up and click the little bell notification, subscribe, and please, in the comments, let me know what you thought about this video. Thank y'all for watching, and may the Lord bless each and every step you take. And until next time, I love y'all, and so does the Lord. Bye, y'all. Peace.